Voice chat knows. What stock is that again? Welcome to Read the Room with Unc. Yo, what everybody? This is Unc coming at you with this week's Read the Room. Definitely an exciting week last week. Bit of a flush in the market. Um, kind of talked about that through voice chat and this platform. How we pretty much see, this, I guess you call it choppiness or sideways action, or kind of flat action overall, and then any potential moves just because the catalysts that are looming are probably to the downside. So preaching risk management in general, not getting caught um, in those little bounces, getting too hopeful or over euphoric, that we have found a bottom. At this point in time, we all agree that there's enough range out there that there's really no reason to try to catch a bottom anywhere. When things turn around, you should have plenty of time. But keeping the lights on and trading daily, still finding those ranges where we can take our percentage and keep it moving. So real quick, kind of do a little review of the Read the Room list last week, to show you what I mean um, by the safest trades on the market. Not too many out here, but I always like to not look at the when I'm reviewing here. I like to keep it real simple. Unless I need more information, I really don't try to look at the days, um, or excuse me, like the 5 minutes, what you would use on the day chart. I don't try to use the hour chart much. Really don't even want to look at the day, unless I'm unsure about a gap or something. But this weekly candle kind of tells you the whole story right here. So it even in Thinkorswim, if you have this, or most platforms, if you look at a weekly, it's going to give you the open, the high, and the low on the candle, right here for you guys following at home. So when I highlight the candle, it'll show you the ranges on this one. So this is, I'm on X, which is not even on the list. So what are we doing here? AMRS got a little flat guy, very small move. You can see it on the day chart a little bit, kind of consolidating below the level. That was big last week. A lot of these guys kind of stayed in a range, didn't really move much, and closed down a little bit or even. Bros, green every day. That's important. Probably get to that later. Same thing. So you see, you got these kind of smaller inside the range candles. Um, some are to the downside, some are to the upside. Very few had big moves. Kodak would be one that had a big move to the upside. And I think DNMR was our biggest one to the downside. But you can kind of see, um, with having lines on your chart and looking at the range on the weekly, even if a candle was red, for the week, still probably has a tradable range. So you are looking for the range and or levels that are respected. You don't just want a candle to do something wild on you on the weekly. I swore it was DNMR that just tanked on us. Um, well, I guess not. But yeah, so that's a quick review. To get easy numbers quick, just go there and check that. And as you can see, a lot of similarities in the charts. We have compressions inside a zone or on a level. That's what we like to see. That's what we try to create with the hot list, as well as the read the room list. Just something that is going to have a little more known support than just a random chart you find on the Webull scanners in the morning. And here we go with the new list here. As always, we'll start off no particular order. As you should notice, the plays that are continued over from last week usually on the top. That's just because how I write my notes. But it's good to know little things like that. So, Clove first held up very well after opening week with a dip. Best entry was off May low and psych level. Read last week's note again. 218, 256 are the lines from the chart, but looking for the same dip if we get ugly off the beginning. Obviously, you guys should know the psych level without me even saying it. Let's hop over here on Clove. So the psych level would be the $2 level. Bam, off the May low back in here. oops, sorry, right here. Bam. So 199, 199. So we got that perfect bounce. There's your open, your perfect bounce. This right here couldn't have been any better. Kind of called the flush on Monday to the psych level, which was offered Tuesday, and then right back to our 218. So I'm really looking for either setup. There's plenty of range back to the 256, or we can just retest this low of $2 again. Getting real comfortable down here with the chart at this level, since this is the probably the third or fourth test of two, and it's held up pretty well. Not more than a day down there, or even an hour if you look at the go in and look at the chart. You can see it right here. That, I mean, it was literally just the open flush, and that's all you got. Next repeater here, Kodak 460. Draw the line. See what we mean by rinse and repeat. Flow still intact. Just the 7 level. Same note from last week. Looking for continuation, high or low if we pull back. That is a new note. So go over here to Kodak. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your 460 level right here. Spent Monday and Tuesday below it, and then totally took off. Whole dollar move. Great trade. If you look over here, this is if we do pull back, I'm just looking for a higher low. I don't think we'll if we pull back all the way to the 460 level, I'll be looking for a little confirmation because we have dipped below it on the weekly before. So I'm either looking for this to just continue with the green days. You can see we got some pullback on Friday after making a high about 560, so that would be the area I'd look to break. But even the pullback to 5 would probably be the good entry. What do we got here? 497 and 503. So yeah, the bottom of those two candles, that's kind of the pullback I'd be looking for. Again, you just stay on winners. This was a winner. We're going to continue it until it shows weakness. DNMR back on our $4 level. Please, I missed an either. Read last week's note and look at the chart. Let the trade come to you here. This is a gem. This is one I don't think is going to go anywhere for a little while. Yeah, you can see on this weekly, look, we got dang near the whole year on the $4 level. Currently, because of market conditions, you don't buy at the $4 level. You kind of got to try to get better ads and play it through the $4 level. As you can see, sometimes you get better ads some weeks than other weeks, and sometimes you get better returns. 480, 490 is kind of the high. Original line is back to 650. I believe the flow is 7 on this one. Just an overall good setup that kind of follows the market, but shows strength after any downtrend. So that's why I like this, and sector also helps. Play. I'm starting to think you guys probably just think I like talking about this. Real short note, 33.02 to 46.22 lines on my chart. Find your percentage. So we go over here to the chart, check out play. Well, there it is. So you can see the channel. Here's the channel more on the weekly. Take this thing. I like bumping this back on the big guy. You can take this back to when we started playing it. November ER, so it's probably this guy. Right here, it hasn't really failed this level. So if you come in here on a weekly, just draw yourself a couple lines for an ad zone. Give yourself an area under that where it hasn't touched for a stop loss, and trade this zone. It's a great setup. They did have strong guidance for the second half of the year. So as long as we don't get like a complete shutdown, these guys should continue to outpace the market, especially when the market gets going in the proper way. The leaps to 50 do not hurt. Also, BlackRock Coffee Club. Probably should have wrote down a script for this one, but so this is probably the best example we're going to have of a stock that we're actively going to trade that has a lower level, which is like we're $7.58 right now. I think the note said 8 last week. What do we got on? Did I read the note this week? Sorry. Made the move last week, back the same now, almost perfect. New lows forming, 795 to 990 lines from the chart. Would like to see that range tested again this week. This is more of a wait and see blood red play. So you can see right here, we made this move last week to the 9 and failed right back to our level, which I like to see. It's 750 or 8, somewhere in here. We don't know really this lower level because we haven't been here. This chart is the one where I don't suggest just like buying and holding a full position, because if the longer it stays at this level, and with the market trend overall being not towards um, investing, I don't know else how else to put it right now. This can and will find a lower level. It's just much easier to grab it when it starts trending up on the days. I do like the range as stated in the notes from the mid sevens to $9 that we currently have. But this can check down at any given moment, and when it does, it's usually in the whole dollar amounts. Like the setup, like the company. Think this will be one of the best turnarounds when we do get past all the troubles in the world right now, from recession to war to supply chain to politics. But when we get around that, I think this will be one of the ones that has a lot of room to make up, and currently has a tradable channel. Next up, Gevo, sub 3 ads. We just played 355 channel. That's the same note from last week. Down 15 cents last week. Like the compression. Dollar range to bottom of channel from here. So what that note, I understand why people say sometimes I write shit confusing. That is a little confusing. So there's your 15% compression candle all last week. 15-cent down move. Had a red week, not much. I love that. Dollar range back to the bottom of the channel is a dollar range back to this line. Like the setup even more. If you lost on this trade last week, it's not a big loss, and we have a huge, huge range back. I still like these guys long term. Alternative fuel with partnerships with big airlines. We've talked about it a bunch. It is kind of a low float. They did do an offering around, I thought it was 470 to be honest with you. Maybe it's 370. 370 or 470 did an offering, so I'm not worried about this at all in the long run. This last week kind of went with the market. I wouldn't mind actually seeing another candle like this for a week just to form that support. Again, scale in, scale out of this guy, or just wait for the trend to change. I must really like coffee. So, bros, last one, too, of the repeats here. Stayed in the channel, and bounced twice. 30.82. Oh yeah, this one's good. 34.12 from the chart. Day chart 2 green to ignore volume profile is 40 on most time frames. So let's go check that out. This is probably one of the better plays from last week. Every candle in the day chart was green last week. Very weird that no matter what, it opened or it closed higher than it opened every day. You can see the compression in the channel in the week. Perfect. And then right here you have the Monday flush to our level. By Wednesday it was back up top. Thursday it flushed down, and Friday it's coming back up. So I like this overall. Probably, maybe test this guy out in the long run here. Just a better setup. They're starting to get into the national news a little bit too. They're definitely not all over the country, so they don't have full exposure. Just another one I like, and currently offering pretty decent trades. Also higher low from the May here if we continue. Another good sign. All right, here's the news on the week. The new one's down here. AMC, oh my goodness. It's coming, it seems. 11.55, live from the chart. This is the low level currently. 17.75 is next. Range is already here. For the people that just read the note, you might be a little lost, because there is the $15 psych level that I didn't mention in there, and it has ran into that a few times. But you can see on the weekly here, it's really respectful down here off this level. On charts like these that are going to be spready, 30, 40 cents sometimes, they'll be the difference. Draw your own lines, please. But this chart, I've had these lines on here for quite some time. You can probably tell because they're color coordinated. The best thing I like about this level here, the 11.5, is the 10 psych's not too far away. And that should really be a line in the sand on this chart. AMC, sure you heard of it. EXK, better silver setup and respecting the 347 level. 423 to the top of the current channel. Lots of range if the sector picks up. I switched silver plays. The other one was crap. My bad, guys. Happens. That Gato was just not moving the right way. I like the way this chart looks, especially on the day and the weekly. You can see the consistency in what I look for. Higher lows and levels respected with range off that. So yeah, I like everything about this, especially if we just get that euphoria and my money's better off in gold and silver. So if AMC and EXK had a baby, you would get HYMC. This should be open. This should open the week strong, which that's what I'm looking for. 131 still the main line, and we're back to getting the 15 to 20 cent day candles. 125 to 145 was the perfect trade and is the perfect trade in my opinion. I'll pull up the chart right quick. So you can see this 131 has stood the test of time since we put it on the chart. You do get lower. I think we've been down to $1. We get into the 120s, but that's just kind of like the center line for me. With two still being, I think we put two on there more for the flow side. But the 180s, the two still kind of being the target from here. As you can see, we haven't really had a down week. We've just had compressions and good weeks. And as I said in the note, the candles are getting bigger. So that's what I like about this. Perfect trade, as stated, the 125 to 145, that would be the perfect trade. Yeah, because 131 is just kind of your pivot. This is your overbought, oversold line, for lack of better terms. Just a hunch that this is picking up by the way the charts look. It just looks like we're going to get back to another pop. Could it just be another 180 pop? Sure. Could it be a $3 or $4 pop? Maybe. It's possible. Don't get your hopes up. But I want to be in the game, have some skin in the game, and have the chart on the radar when that possibility, even if limited, is possible. Lemonade 22's high test, but we're back below 20 here. May lows area to watch. 20 psych, probably the test now. 16 to 20 is a great channel. Yeah, I can see why my notes are a little confusing, but this will make sense here in a second to you guys. So don't really have the lines on here, but May low right here is the 16, what I talked about. 22 is kind of the high. You can see it right here on these 2 weeks. And we're back here at this. So the 16 to 22 here, we'll chart it real quick. We'll go down here to this 16, 1580. I don't care. Ooh, it's even bottom of volume profile in this weekly. So whatever you want to do. You want to be a little greedy, go a little lower. You want to make sure you get the trade, go a little higher. All right, so we're going to go right on the white line, 1610 for me. And this 22 is also volume profile. That can be the top of your channel, but I really think 20 psych's going to get in the way. So yeah, here, we'll cheat a little bit. Let's go 2055. Bam. No, I don't like that. Let's not cheat. Cheating's wrong. That's called greed. Remove drawing. We'll use the candles. I like that we get the bottom of these two candles and mid candle on this week. So yeah, 20 is it. So that's what I mean by the channel that's forming. You're in it now. Easy stop loss if you break down here below 15. I like everything about it, especially since once we get above 20, if we can confirm this 2022 level, there's definitely range to maybe push and test 30 in good market conditions. Rinse and repeat play. Some of them aren't every day. Some of them you play and you got to wait a week and come back, or wait a month and come back. Lemonade fits that bill. Matt, MMAT. A little late on this one. I probably should have put it in last week, but it was more of a watch and see for me. Wasn't too confident in it because of market conditions, but I like what it did in a horrible week. 142 to 155 lines from the chart. Look for a higher low from the May lows. That's a thing right now. And last high was 205, so I like that setup. Let's go real quick and check what that means on the chart. You see the lines on the chart. It's really a tight zone. There's definitely a low spot here, substantially lower down to the one. But I'm looking for this area to hold this 140s most likely. If not, just wait for the May low, which would be, even if we go by the close of this candle. Where's my close? Even my close. Oh crap! No close is one for open of that candle. 115. Even if it's like the 115, 110 range, totally possible. But just like the overall setup here, especially since after we came out of ER with decent news. So just looking for the higher low. There's your higher low to form here inside our channel. Play it back to this 2 level. Definitely a shitty penny, but keeps the lights on. A little Mimi here. PLTR 764 area holding well with tradable range daily. $10 is key and psych level. They the same right now. And higher lows on the day chart. I like the doubles there, so I'm gonna start using that more. If you get a psych level and a key level, that's a great thing. Higher lows on the day chart. So let's pop over here to PLTR. Pa-ching! Yeah, you see the higher lows kind of forming. Really respectful of this 764 line. I like a lot about just how it's setting up, even on the weekly, with range back to just the 10 here. Tradable channel. This is another one where the bottom isn't really established past where we are. There isn't much below. I mean, it does have the May low to go off of. But if that gets rejected, those lows come fast and are usually in the dollar increments. So be mindful of that. But PLTR does have the Reddit kind of meme appeal. So I just like that we're kind of getting active towards the end of the week with the pickup in the socials. So probably slower play for most people. Things not going to run to like 30, 35 or anything like that. Even high teens is probably your best target. But maybe a little safer setup, especially if Euphoric comes back. Euphoric growth stocks come back in the market. Also, this is a news giant. Plenty of partnerships to report news at any point in time. All right, last one here, Rad. For me, this is the best ER setup this week. Still playing the flush, read the report strategy. What that means is you let ER come out. Do not be a dumbass like I have been. Yeah, don't get too excited. Just let the report come out. Read it. If it's decent and it overreacts on the flush, play the chart. 550 key level forming currently. 9's the old level that failed. Put that in a note because I think that's kind of important. This 9 level was support for years. It failed. I don't expect a run and a retest to that. Just straight. I think there'll be another level in here that's unknown. So it's more important for me to find the bottom and be in the move when the retest comes. If you look on the weekly, we do have a low back here around 460. I don't think we'll get that low, but if we do pull back, I expect maybe this 555 level to come up, and then even playing it back to 6 is a good trade for me. So that's kind of the setup I'm looking for. I don't want this to be $7 when the report comes out because I really wouldn't know which way to trade it. So again, looking for the downside, maybe to this 550 level, and then a decent report. Luckily, they don't sell TVs, so hopefully the report won't be too bad. All right, and a couple of, just gonna add a couple that really didn't make the cut, that just fit the parameters. So if we do get a hot start and you guys are on these charts, I would stay on them. But AI, it's back into the channel that we previously played before. It's one to watch. AUY, I'm looking for a higher low if gold picks up. CENN, I can't remember what, I think it was naked. Professor always corrects me on that. Higher lows on that chart. I like it, like the sub to the 180 to $2 play. That's also on the hot list this week. Dow's in a great spot overall. If we do get a big turnaround, that's a great chalk great stock to be in long term, especially with the dividend. Um, Momo was a communications play the professor played before. It's back on 5. The 5 to 6 move is kind of what we look for there. And then in general, I do like the position, even though the flow's not there yet. Um, and I want to highlight this. I guess I'll even bring up some charts real quick just so I can highlight this. But Square, SoFi, and PayPal. And I think SoFi's on the hot list this week. But I just like where these charts are, how they're kind of all basing at the low levels. Um, and it's just whether you believe if these guys are still the future in banking and not. So I do like those charts. A couple other ER flushes that I'm looking for, and same strategy. They just didn't make the list. Carnival Cruise. Shouldn't have to tell you about the cruise industry. LEN, which is a home builder. Um, and then SWBI, which is, I believe, Smith & Wesson. Um, Again, other than that one already kind of flushed last week. So I'm looking for all these to flush and just to play back to key levels on ER. That's about it for me this week. As always, ask any questions you guys have in the RTL Academy if it's not clear to you, or introduce your trades as ideas, and we can talk those out. I think that's important, especially right now, because it's usually just one or two little things that you're missing or not seeing properly that are leading you down to unsuccessful trades. So if we can fix just the slight little things quickly, that's probably best for you. And the easiest way to do that is just to kind of vet your ideas on the table. So that's what the RTL Academy is for. Me and the professor definitely always willing to help. I would also stress to catch, at minimum, try to watch this video, read the notes, and then the professor's morning streams. That should get you off to a good start. And then, as we always stress, stay in the charts that you know. The consistency and familiarity helps you focus, and focus is key in this game. All right, everybody, trade safe. Let's have a plan. Respect the lines, but most importantly, read the room.